at the time period, Europe was in a state of flux. In the 16th century, as we talk about a lot in the case here, we talk about the old world meeting the new world here in Florida. But even in Europe, there was a clash going on as old world was leaving and going into a new realm. At this time in Europe, those knights in shining armor, that age of chivalry and what we call the Middle Ages, is fading out into what we call the higher Renaissance and going into the Age of Reason. And a lot of the weapons that the conquistadors bring reflect that. Gone are those days of the knight in shining armor. And the reasons for this is because the weapons are changing. A classic example is the helmet that I have in my hand. When we think of knights in shining armor, we think of these closed-face helmets with visors that the knights were wearing. Well, by the time of the Renaissance, a lot of those soldiers were starting to complain of the fact that they had no side or peripheral vision. So they started to develop what we call the cabossé or morion-style helmet, which is open face. Those warriors on the combat field now have a full range of vision, but the reason that it's conical and oddly shaped like this is so that if a blade strike comes down, it hits, and then it slides off to the side of their head. Unlike those old bucket-style helmets of old that you bring a sword or a club down on, it's gonna crunch in their skull. So there's gonna be a lot of technology being brought in.